football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man who knows how to make an entrance at a bris, but has never been sued by Billy Idol's lawyers before. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com, the Ricky Stenicki of this podcast. How are you? Better yet, where have all the cowboys gone? I watched the movie.
It's so good, dude. Was I not spot on with it?
It was unbelievable. I mean, I got to see cousin Zac Efron acting in a movie.
Yeah, and I mean, like, The Rock gets all this credit for being a WWE superstar turned actor. John Cena is way better of an actor than he is. Like, he's absolutely hysterical in that movie.
I was telling the Arizona State podcast, the only other person who could have played Ricky Stenicki is Channing Tatum.
Oh, Channing Tatum would have been freaking funny too.
A little more believable in age.
100%.
And I was also looking at this in IMDb. So the long-haired girl Carly,
yeah,
that's Apple Fairley. So that's the Fairley's daughter.
No way, did not know that. Okay,
Yeah.
Hey, nepotism, always everywhere.
Ricky Stenicki.
Dude, Ricky Stenicki, man.
It changed the game. I'm so glad I watched that movie.
Dude, it came out and I remember I was excited for it to come out just because it seemed like a comedy that we don't get anymore, frankly, in movies these days. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm all about this. Watched it the first weekend it came out, and then no one talked about it. And I was like, this movie's hilarious. Why is no one talking about this?
It's really funny. And I was also telling the Arizona State podcast, again, she's never seen Dumb and Dumber, so we have to fix that at some point. But we've seen Shallow Hal. We've seen There's Something About Mary. There's other ones. We're not going to watch Stuck on You. I don't think we need to do.
No, you're good. You're good. You're not missing much.
But every Fairley Brothers movie, they do a really good job of empowering people with disability. And there's people, and I've always thought that was really cool that they do that shit for their stuff.
Yeah, no, Fairley Brothers are, I think, very underrated. They have a good comedic head on their shoulders, I think.
And they really love them some Rhode Island, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if Stephen A. Smith has ever been to Rhode Island, but we have obviously fall started here. We're going to move on. Start our show today with some First and 15 with Stephen B. Swift's second take. Because it was Labor Day weekend, we had an extended games and stuff with obviously your team not looking the part after that first touchdown. I'm just going to say TCU is good, and we'll leave it at that. But the AP Top 25 came out. We've got some thoughts on it, not as much as we probably will in the future, but there was some movement across the board here. The AP Top 25.
Yeah, I think we got to start at the top, man. Ohio State's your new number one. I don't think either of us have an argument there.
No.
After a tough win against Texas at home, that's fully justifiable. The one thing that when you're talking about the top of the rankings that I think could have happened, I don't really it doesn't bother me necessarily, but you could have put LSU at 2 after their win over Clemson. I don't mind it. Penn State didn't do anything to make me think negatively about Penn State, so moving them down, I don't hate that, but you could have put LSU at 2.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, Penn State, LSU, Georgia is all relatively close there. Again, what people have to remember is there is a stark contrast between the AP Top 25 and the coaches poll. AP Top 25 just very, very, very reactionary. And,
oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
But it's our guiding light until we get to the playoff rankings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a problem with the top 5 there. I do think it's kind of pathetic that Oregon got a first place vote.
Yeah, not sure where that came from. What are we doing there?
It doesn't make a damn bit of sense. So Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Georgia, Miami are the top 5. And 6 through 10, it's Oregon, Texas, Clemson, Notre Dame, South Carolina. Kind of got some thoughts there with 7 through 10 a little bit. Again, I watched South Carolina in person. I don't necessarily think that they deserve to move up a bunch of spots. It's a borderline top 10 team, very disjointed, but we don't need to crown them just yet for beating a Virginia Tech team that we don't think is very good. Or I don't know, Virginia. We'll talk about Virginia Tech probably a lot in this program today.
Yeah, we've got some Virginia Tech thoughts for sure. I don't hate the South Carolina thing just because of the way things kind of moved in the top 10. My biggest gripe is Clemson staying in the top 10. That didn't look like a top 10 team to me. At home, losing to LSU when your offense really couldn't get off the ground, I don't know, man. If you're gonna drop Alabama 13 spots, I understand it's a worse loss, but like you gotta penalize them a little bit for that. I mean, you dropped Texas spots and you dropped Clemson 4 spots, and like I think Texas's loss looked a hell of a lot better than Clemson's.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to ask you because I was having a hard time discerning like the quality of the loss there for Texas to Ohio State, Clemson to LSU, and Notre Dame to Miami. And in a weird way, I was like thinking, I think the Clemson loss is actually worse because it
Yeah.
was at home, it was in good weather conditions. I mean, like Miami had to go on the road as the road favorite to try to beat the Miami Hurricanes in essentially a hurricane and
Yeah.
with a first year quarterback. And then Texas had a first year quarterback too. This is Klubnik's like fourth year starting
Yeah.
for the team, and he got outplayed by Nuss. And it played out exactly kind of how we thought it would be. It's like, yeah, you're down cousin Antonio Williams there in the receiving core, but like Clemson's offensive line still sucks. It always
hmm
does.
No,
And
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Clemson, I'm like now at this point, like they're gonna have to basically win out an ACC play to make the playoff because I don't think you're gonna beat South Carolina playing like that.
No, no, I don't think so either. And like, yeah, the Notre Dame loss, like, I mean, the first big component is Clemson lost at home, Notre Dame and Texas did not. Like, that's where it starts for me. Like, you had the advantage of playing in your Death Valley and it didn't matter. And then the other thing, like, you look at the Texas loss, like, yes, they lost. But like they lost because of their red zone inefficiency. They didn't lose because of the way they played the entire game. They outplayed Ohio State for good portions of that game. They just couldn't cash it in the red zone, a consistent problem for Steve Sarkisian that you probably want to figure out because that's been going on for 3 years now. But like, you know, if you look at the success rate stuff, like Texas probably should have won that game, not lost it. So like that loss to and like the congruency of how that matches up with Notre Dame and Clemson dropping, like it's a little uneven for me. Notre Dame, like you played poorly and still like had a chance to win the game. Like that's
Yeah,
not a bad loss. Like yes, you didn't play well, but like the conditions and you still had a chance to win the game on the road.
yeah, it just shows the difference of like, a first year starter and like what a sophomore in CJ
hmm
Carr versus a 6th year senior in Carson Beck who's played in a bunch of games like this. So
Right.
like, and again, I feel like you came full circle on Monday's show. Like, yeah, Miami's the team to beat in the ACC
hmm
because like that's a game that they would lose and now they're not going
100%.
to.
100%. No, I mean I released a mock draft on fansided.com, the little preseason mock draft going into NFL week 1 and I had Carson Beck back in the first round, man. Because if
I
he
think that's
plays like
fair.
that and you'll like it too. Going to the Rams to be Matthew Stafford's successor.
I love that. I mean, whoever the Rams draft, it's going to be like whoever the Vikings draft. Although I'm never going to say anything positive about JJ McCarthy, but like
Right.
again, it's the situation's so good there for.
Exactly.
So moving on to the 11 through 15, we got Illinois, Arizona State, Florida, Florida State, and Michigan. Um, Illinois and Arizona State are just better than those 3 other teams. And
Yeah.
again, Florida State, that's very reactionary. Again, the Seminoles could be really good, but like Florida, like they could lose to South Florida this weekend, and I think Michigan's probably gonna lose to Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean it's entirely possible. Like I Illinois and Arizona State, no problems, no qualms there. Florida, we'll see. Like I would have probably kept them instead of moving them up 2 spots. Like I would have kept them closer to the same area they were at 15 previously, just because I don't know. I don't really beating Long Island doesn't do anything for me.
Um,
Like it shouldn't do anything for anyone. Like I don't know what we're reacting to there. Florida State, yeah, like I probably would have had them in the 15 to 20 range as opposed
yeah,
to jumping up to 14. Like you got to reward a big win like that, but at the same time, like you are dropping Alabama down outside of the top 20. So how impressive of a win was it? That's the real question.
100%. Like I would have had teams at 16 and 17 ahead of Florida State and Iowa State and SMU because those
hmm
are more proven commodities here. 18's Oklahoma, they're ascending. 19 Texas A&M's quietly playing pretty good, and then Ole Miss at 20.
hmm
Again, I like Ole Miss probably more so than the other two, but these are all teams that I think will be varying levels of good this year.
Yeah, and like I'm with you on Ole Miss. Like uh well, not to spoil anything later in the show, but they play Kentucky on the road this week, and I don't know if Mark Stoops has a job after this week, quite frankly, because I think they're gonna beat their brains out of the Wildcats this week. But like, based on what happened in week 1, I understand not moving Ole Miss. Like again, if my bigger like big picture issue with AP 20 top 25 is what you're talking about with reactionary. They're inconsistent with where they're reactionary. Like you're going to move Florida up 2 spots for beating Long Island just because of where they were, but you're not going to move Ole Miss for a similar caliber win. Like it's different types of reactionary based on preseason biases, and I don't like that.
Well, the best part's they all got to kind of play each other
Yeah.
this year too. And then to round out the top 25, this is fun. We've got at 21, Alabama. We're going to talk about them very soon. Tennessee at 22, Indiana 23, Texas Tech at 24, and Utah at 5. Again, like Tennessee, just Alabama had to fall, and maybe that's justified with where it is, but like that team's got no momentum right now. Utah's got a lot.
Mhm.
We know Indiana and Tennessee were playoff teams a year ago, and the Texas Tech's been a team that's like been recruiting very well with shaking babies, kissing hands there with Joe McGuire and Barry Morton Salt Flats.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Joe McGuire, I'm pissed because like you won by 60 and you dropped a spot in the AP top 25. Like, what else do you got to do against a bad opponent to get some respect? Like, I don't fully understand that. I also like I probably would have had Utah in the top 20 if it was me, submitting a ballot. Um, they picked apart UCLA. And like,
Yeah,
I'm not saying UCLA is some world beater, but it is power four competition. It is a former conference rival. And you dismantled them. Like Utah was one of the more impressive teams of week one. I also think that based on what I watched, and like I still believe in Indiana, I still believe in Kurt Signetti. I would have dropped Indiana out of the top 25. They were not that impressive in week one against Old Dominion. I think it gets better, and we do see Indiana get closer to its ceiling because that definitely wasn't it what we saw on Saturday. But I would have put a team like Auburn, a team like Georgia Tech in the top 25 over Indiana after this first week.
100%. Yeah. Indiana kind of looked a little disjointed to start with Mendoza. ODU played pretty well, but obviously the talent prevailed there for the Hoosiers. But kind of right there with you. Utah looked certainly more impressive than a lot of teams. I'd probably put them right behind Tennessee. That's
Yeah,
probably what I would do. Yeah,
I
23,
honestly I would me
maybe even,
personally, I
maybe even
probably would
ahead.
have
Yeah.
I would have put them like right around Oklahoma and Texas A&M, like maybe split the difference there.
Yeah. We were really high on the Utes and Devin Dampier. That guy's good.
They're good. Like I think they might run away with the Big 12. Truly, like Arizona State's good, but I think Utah might be better, man.
I mean, I have Utah beating Arizona State during the regular season. Obviously, we get to Arlington, we see what happens. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is Kyle Whittingham's running out of time. I think he just turned 65. So it's like, how many more years do you want to do? This looks great, by the way, for that age.
Hell yeah, he does.
But I mean, he's been in this job for a decade, 2 decades now.
We look worse in our mid 30s than he does at 65. That's for sure.
He's not getting killed by blue screens all the
That's
time.
right. He doesn't even own a phone, I'm pretty sure.
No, he tells time with sundials and
That's
everything like
right.
that. And I don't know what sort of time telling device Kalen DeBoer uses, but it doesn't work because it don't mean enough.
But it
Alabama
doesn't
fans,
work.
broken clock is right twice. Is right twice once a day. Alabama fans want to push Kalen DeBoer off into Mobile Bay.
They really do, man. It's getting ugly.
It's again with my new role working in the NCAA division. The guy who runs Bama Hammer, John Mitchell, and the guy who runs Saturday Blitz, Nick Rome, are both Alabama guys. They're going through it in real time in a way that like I'm truly shocked. Like I didn't think it was going to be this bad, and I think DeBoer is a good head coach, but like
Mhm.
clearly, I mean, I guess Michael Penix Jr. got him this job. Rise up.
Yeah, 100%. Good news for the Falcons, that's for sure. Who publishing later or by the time this episode gets posted, it'll be published. But I did record predictions for every NFL team this morning, and got your Falcons going 11-6.
Me too. And
Oh yeah,
it comes down to like the sixth tiebreaker for who wins the division with the Bucks. So like,
yeah.
yeah, I have them both making the
I let
playoffs.
a what you call it, like a simulator
Yeah,
sort the tiebreakers out for me. The Bucks got it. I don't know on what, but they did.
yeah,
But the
but like,
Falcons still make the playoffs. That's all that matters.
yeah, and yeah, I feel pretty good about my playoff teams there in the NFL. And again, like I get to watch it as a fan and
Oh
react to
yeah.
it and watch us give up an absurd amount of things. Also, I read about this for Badger of Honor, by the way.
Yeah.
Their backup quarterback Danny O'Neal is like Baker Mayfield Jr. He's small. He's got like the headband, the dark hair. He's got like blonde tips in the back. He's so cocky. I love it.
He's very like it is the least shocking thing in the world to find out that he went to San Diego State because he just looks like a San Diego State quarterback.
I mean, he's maybe 5'11", if that. uh, but like he's going to be starting for the Badgers when they take on Middle Tennessee, who may be god awful.
Oh yeah.
And Barry Alvarez was saying like, I think we might actually be the favorite in Bryant Denny.
Well, we'll see about that, but
Uh,
yeah.
that's fair. That's going to be a loser leaves town matchup. But anyway, like the
Mhm.
DeBoer of it all, like one of the days of all time, like up there with Harvey Updike poisoning a tree on Feinbaum. I'll tell you that much.
Dude, it is bad. And like I think like Andy Staples had a point yesterday, I believe it was like, yes, it's a $70 million buyout. I did not realize this, but like it's not Jimbo where you got to come up with it or at least half of it like right now. It's paid monthly throughout the remainder of the contract. So like as Andy Staples put it, that's a line item for Alabama. It's not like super detrimental if you were to try and buy him out. So like that seat's a lot hotter than I think we even gave it credit for after the Florida State loss. Like I think that it is a situation where I let me ask you about this because I do think it's something that's part of the equation here because I don't know if you saw AJ McCarron's comments this week about the NIL, but he basically said that from what he knows, and he claimed it as like facts, not as like something he's hearing or anything like that. Alabama's working with like a $20 million NIL budget as opposed to like other programs that are talking about 40 million that they have between the revenue sharing and NIL money. I mean, if that's actually true, then like this isn't all Kalen DeBoer's fault, but it is somewhat Kalen DeBoer's fault because even in the changing landscape of college football, there was still the Nick Saban discount. Like that still existed. People still wanted to go play for Alabama to come be ready for the NFL by being coached by Nick Saban. Now you have a situation where it's Kalen DeBoer who is a far less proven commodity in that idea in that realm. And so when you're talking about more limited NIL resources than your competitors, that's like that kind of goes back to what I was saying in the offseason about Alabama. I don't see a ton of difference makers on this team. And like maybe that's a big factor as to why.
Yeah, you're taking the Saban discount. I mean, other programs probably do that. Georgia is
Yeah.
probably the most notable one, but other people are out there spending an assload of money. That could be Tennessee, that could be Oregon, that could be Michigan,
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Texas probably more so than anyone.
Yeah.
But like, just because Alabama is a traditional power and a blue blood in every sense of the word, like it's a changing landscape. And like what worked well in 2010 when AJ McCarron and I were in schools, like it's not going to necessarily work now.
Yeah.
And I was looking at like who had the odds of replacing DeBoer if it hit the fan. Like the number one candidate's Tommy Reese, who was the OC with the Browns, and he did okay. Like when he was there.
Yeah. But I'm not sure
Number
he's a head coach.
number two is Glenn Schumann, and that would be a tire fire.
Yeah.
And then like you have other people with Alabama ties, like Sean Dion Hamilton, who's on the Lions staff, Lane Kiffin, Jimbo Fisher was played football in state. John Summerall is from Alabama or is from Huntsville. Kenny Dillingham, I believe, coached at Auburn at some point too. But like
Mhm.
what you're not seeing is Dan Lanning. You're not seeing Steve Sarkisian. You're not seeing Dabo Swinney. You're not seeing Mike Norvell.
Yeah.
And the fact, like, the best guy you probably have out there is Kiffin or Dillingham. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Marcus Shepard was like listed like as an internal candidate. Like that's some Dennis Franchiani nonsense there.
Yeah. If Kalen DeBoer doesn't work out at Alabama, which it seems like we're trending that way, I think hell would freeze over before they hired someone internally to take over for him. Like I don't see a world where that's gonna happen. But like, yeah, I think when you talk about that though, you talk about Lanning, Sark, any of these other top tier coaches in college football not being a candidate for Alabama, it kind of shows you how the landscape has changed. Alabama's not the mecca of college football. There are multiple meccas of college football nowadays. Like there are multiple jobs that are on par with Alabama right now. And that matters. Like that you have if you're Alabama, you have lost a lot of the advantages that you have beyond just Nick Saban being your head coach. You having the greatest college football coach of all time on your sidelines. Beyond that, like the job is not the same that it was because Nick Saban doesn't occupy it anymore.
I mean, This is two other things I've kind of got with this. So like they also have Deion Sanders listed as well. I'm like, Deion Sanders and Matt Rule's ego might take that job and maybe it'll work, but that's such a double-edged sword there with both of them.
Yeah, I mean it is high ceiling, low floor propositions in both
Yes.
cases.
And then with DeBoer really struggling with really only 2 years of Power Four experience at Washington, and a little bit at Fresno State, and then Sioux Falls and Indiana OC, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This unfortunately kind of removes John Summerall from the equation because
Yeah.
it's like we can't go with another G5 guy. It doesn't matter if he grew up at, the future home of SpaceX or
Right.
Space Force, whatever it is. But like in another situation like Summerall, like, well, hell yeah, I'll go coach at Bama. Like
Yeah.
he coached at Troy. He's from Huntsville and Kentucky. Like maybe that's not the best job, but DeBoer's struggles basically kind of prevents him from going there. You got to go out there and find a guy who's going to be a cult of personality, which is why I wrote for Dawn of the Dog. Like it's not Glenn Schumann because he's got the personality of a piece of paper.
Yeah, and I mean like that's why someone like Dion I think is a more likely candidate than I think we probably realize, man, because
Yeah,
if Coach Prime, if nothing else, is a cult of personality. And like you want to talk about being able to recruit, like come play for Coach Prime at the University of Alabama. That's a hell of a recruiting pitch in and of itself.
a guy like PJ Fleck and Shane Beamer would do pretty well in that job.
Oh, dude, Shane Beamer would be sick.
Dude, he was absolutely feeling himself with
Bring
the
Lenora
band.
Sellers with you for the 2026 season to Alabama. Holy hell, now we're cooking.
Oh my God, that would be unbelievable. Honestly, with the way Sellers played at times, like this may be his last year of
Oh
college
yeah,
football.
100%. No, I'm not saying that he's a sure thing to return next year for college football. I'm just, dreaming about things that would be really fun to see.
100%. And like, I can't even really equate like something like this turning bad this quickly. Maybe Scott Frost, like even Brian Harson, like this is starting to feel like that a little bit in some ways.
Yeah, Harson, interestingly enough, because it obviously happened at Auburn, like it does feel a lot like that. Someone who's just like out over their skis, man. Like it just feels like this is snowballing for DeBoer pretty damn quickly, and it is a nice touch of poetry. That the week after this, catastrophic loss to Florida State, they get to play Louisiana Monroe.
Yes, and
Who
we all know about that.
Yeah, exactly. To be clear, I think Alabama's gonna be fine. Monroe's not very good, but like sometimes the college football gods throw a little joke down our way.
ULM's head coach, that's I believe that's Brian Vincent. Yeah, that's the guy that UAB should have hired instead of Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, and somehow Trent Dilfer's still the head coach at UAB. Don't know how
And
that's working, but not great.
I mean, watch Brian Vincent like beat Alabama and he's the next head coach.
DeBoer is leaving Tuscaloosa on Sunday if they lose to Louisiana Monroe. I'm gonna go ahead and write that down.
Biscuit's good. You got to get bagels around here.
That's right.
How about some crepes?
They're really thin pancakes.
They're pretty delicious. Why don't you just break my arm? Why don't you just break my arm? Because it's getting hot in here.
Yes, sir.
A couple of head coaches who really need a win in week two after some losses in week one. I think we both have five here apiece.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sure we
curious to
have some
see.
crossover as well, too.
I kind of went more along the lines like I think that these coaches could conceivably lose week two.
I went, oh, well, I have some that could conceivably lose. I have some, well, actually, all but one could conceivably lose. One of them would be a long shot, but I don't think it's out of the question.
Okay. Let's go 5-1. This is going to be amazing.
I do not have mine numbered, so I'm just going to read them out.
Okay. I'll go with five for me. That'd be Cincinnati Bearcats head coach Scott Satterfield
Okay.
going up against the Bowling Green Falcons at Nippert Stadium there in Cincinnati. Bowling Green is being coached by college football NFL legend Eddie George.
Hmm.
And that's where Drew Pine's playing quarterback now.
Did not know that. Hell yeah,
Uh,
brother.
Bowling Green is usually a pretty well resourced program in the MAC. And like honestly, under Satterfield, like Cincinnati still gives off group of five vibes of the American. They've not really leveled up. Maybe the talent disparity is not as much there. Again, I do think the Bearcats win, but if you don't win that, like this is you might as well just hire Eddie George to be your head coach.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's gonna be real bad if you lose that game.
All right.
I did not have Satterfield on here, but definitely like you gotta win that game.
All right. I know you don't have a number, but who's the first one you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Deshaun Foster because,
Yeah,
like I
I've got
said,
it. I've got him at 3.
yeah, Utah beat their brains in last week, and now you got to go play UNLV.
Mhm.
And look, UNLV hasn't been a world beater to start the season, but like they do have like power four caliber talent on that roster because Dan Mullen like recruited it in the transfer portal. Um, if they start to click for UNLV, UCLA could be in a hell of a lot of trouble, and Deshaun Foster could be in a hell of a lot of trouble because you brought in Nico, you paid good money to bring him in when everything went south at Tennessee, and man, if you start 0-2, like there are going to be some real questions of what Foster's actually doing for this program.
And these are both non-conference. These would both be non-conference losses. And in UNLV's case, it's group of 5 loss. And again, I don't think losing to Utah or UNLV is really the worst thing in the world, but the combination of that
Yeah.
with Nico playing poorly, with Foster essentially getting the job like last April because Chip Kelly went to Ohio State or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy's job hopping. And then it's just it compounds. It's like, when does it stop being a coincidence?
Yeah. When shouts to Ari Wasserman, man.
I said that to him in the bathroom. When does it stop being a coincidence?
That's right.
I didn't say a damn thing, did it was okay.
That should have been the only thing you said. Don't even have a conversation. When does it stop being an effing coincidence?
Eddie Staples, I should have said too legit to pit.
Yes, sir.
You know, I said I had some really nasty McNuggets farts. That's what was going on.
Hey, we've all been there. Who among us?
Yeah, they looked absolutely spectacular there at the big body bends.
Yes, sir.
4 for me. So I mentioned I have Scott Satterfield at 5. I have Deshaun Foster 3. Number 4, Frank Reich at Stanford. Like losing to Hawaii. If you lose to BYU, a team that like lost its quarterback with Jake Bretzloff having to transfer for violating the school's LDS honor code,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to fire Frank Reich, but it's just like the program might as well be just a dormant website with just no juice at all.
I don't have Frank Reich on here because I honestly completely forgot about Frank Reich. Like I've completely written them off so hard that like I'm not even like considering Stanford in these equations anymore. Do want to point out though another program that we talked about being dead. Want to shout out JKS at Cal. Kid looks legit, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be at Cal for very long. I'll tell you that much.
Well, it was like he committed there, then he flipped Oregon, then he flipped back. But yeah, JKS, yeah, good for Justin Wilcox.
Hell yeah, dude. Justin Wilcox might be able to keep his star not from falling off a cliff this year. So that's
All
good.
right.
We'd love to see that.
All right, what's your next head coach you would touch on?
I'm sure you have him on here. I have Brent Pry.
Number 1 with the bullet, brother.
Yeah, Virginia Tech taking on Vandy this week. Man, you can't lose to Vandy after the way you looked against South Carolina. And like we love Vandy, we love Diego Pavia, we love Clark Lee, we love Barton Simmons, we love everything that's going on in Nashville. But like if you're Brent Pry, like this is it, man. This legitimately feels like your job is on the line in this game. If you start 0-2 with those 2 losses, like there's not going to be much recovering from that for Virginia Tech. And I also think like if even I'm not saying he's going to get fired if they lose this game like immediately or anything, but I do think it is a situation where you're looking at it like, man, like if you're Virginia Tech, how do you recover from this? Because like that's going to put the vibes in an atrocious place as you go into ACC play.
So again, I saw this in person, and you also have to remember they lost to Vanderbilt last year in Nashville. And again, that kind of gave Diego Pavia and the Doors a lot of momentum. Still lost to Georgia State though, but that's okay.
You know, it happens.
As I was watching and covering the second Aflac kickoff game from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the coordinators are new for Virginia Tech, but there was promise with what Philip Montgomery is trying to do with the spread. And Sam Seipke is that guy. I can't believe that he left. I can't believe he was able to leave Jonathan Gannon's staff in Arizona. This guy's really good. They got a defensive lineman by the name of Emmett Laws. That's next Grady Jarrett. He's Aaron Donald, Grady Jarrett type of ACC player.
That's beef meat, baby.
Yeah, he's like 6 feet, 280 pounds of pure effing beef.
That's what nothing I love more than pure effing beef, baby.
But then it's like Kyron Jones was so inconsistent. They really couldn't really run the football. I mean, give Clayton White and his defense a lot of credit for basically preventing anything of significance up the middle there for the Hokies. But you upgrade a coordinator in both areas, and it still feels like Brent Pry. It's like, we're just short. We just keep coming up short here. And it just kind of feels like he's a coordinator masquerading as a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think the coordinators Virginia Tech are the problem. I think it's Brent Pry. Like, quite frankly, it feels cultural at this point. And like, not saying like they're bad kids or anything, but like on the football field, it looks like there's something missing with the culture.
Yeah, like I mean, South Carolina's good. Like um Drones is trying to connect with like one of the mini greens on this team outside the numbers. Didn't connect with them all, but like it didn't look like an ACC team versus an SEC team. Like this could have been a conference game.
Yeah,
The talent wasn't really the issue there. And again, like they got a hell of a kicker there in Blacksburg. That guy can make anything.
special teams, baby.
But to to lose to South Carolina being beat with Beamer ball by Beamer in the
Yeah,
first matchup that they played since 91 against each other. Like Shane Beamer was a freshman in high school the last time these two teams played prior to Sunday.
right.
Um, and then Britt Pry had a really convenient excuse at the podium. They're asking like what happened on there. It's like, well, we had our gunners were tired. We got a like a legal procedure penalty. And I'm like, who cares? Take an effing time out. Give your guys more time to prepare. The game's on the line. You had an opportunity to upset, and you blew it because you weren't prepared.
Yeah, 100%. Like my takeaway on that punt return was not anything to do with, oh wow, they look tired. Like it looked like poor form. It looked like poor tackling. It looked like poor angles being taken. Like it just looked like bad coaching.
Yeah. If you start the season out 0-2 with two SEC losses, I mean, to South Carolina and Vanderbilt, I mean, and again, like I was watching this Hokies team, there's a lot of passing. This is a better team than it was a year ago,
Yeah.
but like you're 0-2 and your record's not going to be.
You're
If
not
you
one of the
start
best teams in the ACC. You're just not.
No, and then you're basically banking on like, oh, we got to beat Virginia again. Like I don't know if you're going to. Virginia's got more positive in it than you. They beat the
Yeah.
crap out of Coastal.
Yeah. Coastal didn't stand a chance. Good Lord, how that program has fallen.
We'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so Brent Pry, and I guess the last coach I had on here for me, I think you have two more,
I have three more. Three more.
three more. Okay, throw another one there, please.
Okay, I got you. This one's less serious, but I had to mention it. Dan Lanning, look, he's
Yeah,
not going to lose his job or
no,
anything like that. But with all the SU and Mike Gundy are talking back and forth, you better not lose this game to Oklahoma State this week. Like
yeah,
it's especially when you're in a position that Dan Lanning is in, where Oregon, as we talk about all the time, like has not won anything. They won a Big
yeah,
Ten title last year. I don't care. That doesn't mean anything to me.
no.
At Oregon, your goal is winning a national championship, and you haven't come close. And with that, and with him peacocking a little bit in the face of Mike Gundy, like this feels like a game Gundy might have some tricks up his sleeve. I don't think Oklahoma State's very good, but I think that Oregon's going to see the whole bag of tricks from Mike Gundy this week.
Yeah, I don't think Oklahoma is like drowning face down in some still water. In
Yeah,
still water. Like there's
it's
some
not
life
last
to
year. It's not
no.
last year.
Also, Gundy at the podium, in the wake of Ryan Day, Mike Gundy basically used what a Christmas story to describe the Nebraska Cornhuskers jerseys back in the 40s in Greater Indiana. I don't know why. Also, maybe he's just showing Dean Landing what it looks like to not have a rib tat right here.
It's like this is what a clean canvas looks like, brother.
Yeah, uh, Gundy's in hell of a good shape too, by the way.
Dude, I would not fight Gundy. Absolutely
No,
not.
no, that guy was definitely like if he was born a little bit earlier, he would have been in the outsiders, dude.
Oh, 100%.
Dude, yeah. He's
We love Mike Gundy. What a
he'd be
guy.
he'd be the equivalent of Emilio Estevez in that movie,
Yeah, 100%.
beating the ass out of some
Shouts
socials.
Gordon Bombay, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
Mighty Ducks.
that was purely coincidental. I did not mean for that to happen. So that's okay. It's knuckle puck time, and I'll probably make a reference to Charlie Conway at the end of the show too. But
Of
it's
course,
okay.
of course.
It all comes full circle. Who's your other coach? You got two more?
You got two more. So one, just like I did on Monday's show, I'm going to combine this. The Michigan-Oklahoma game, whether that's Brent Venables or Sherrone Moore, but like this is a prove it moment for both of these coaches. Like, which of you is legit? Which of you is a legit threat this year? Because I know it's probably unfair to write whoever loses this game off, but I'm going to. Like, that's just I can already tell you where my head's headed. And like maybe like there's ways that the game could play out where that's not the case, but like these are two coaches that we entered this season with some viable questions about. And like week one, we saw some positive things from both of them, but like you've got to build on that. And this is a perfect opportunity for both of them to build on that. Whichever one doesn't, that's not going to be working in their favor and could set things on a downward trajectory.
100%. This is a critical juncture for both programs. And again, we were dubious about both, but then we eventually came around. Like, there is good things to be had for both OU and Michigan here.
Yeah.
But like, if you lose this game, that all basically goes away, and you got to start again. And I don't necessarily know if you have the runway or the wherewithal with the guy at the helm who doesn't win that game to do it.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely what like again, it's probably unfair to look at this game that way, but that's how I'm looking at it.
And my last one, I got Dave Aranda at Baylor.
Okay. I did not include him because I thought I see where you're coming from there. Go ahead.
If you lose two non-conference games to Auburn and SMU, this is going to take a team that we thought was upper quartile in the Big 12 during our preview shows. Definitely check that out. Previous episodes here. It's got Deion Sanders in the image there, so that's how you know what it is.
Yes, sir.
Maybe Baylor is just a really good Big 12 team.
Yeah,
but Auburn is not that special in the SEC, and then SMU is only year two in the Power Four. And again, I think very highly of SMU.
mm-hmm.
But if you lose this matchup of like old Southwest Conference rivals, you're 0-2, then all the goodwill that Dave Aranda built up last year after having a really rough season the year prior, that goes away.
No, 100%. And like, I think I didn't include him on here just because like this is a very close matchup. You know what I mean? Like I think Baylor could cover from losing this. And like that's kind of where I look at it. But like your points are well taken and I see where you're coming from with it. Like I think Baylor could have the potential to recover from it just because I still think they're a good team. And like to be clear, there is a viable chance that they beat SMU this weekend. That's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. You got your last one, or do you have them all?
No, it's Kalen DeBoer, bro. Got to pile on just a little bit more here. But like I think that Kalen DeBoer is in a tricky situation because most of these other coaches that we're talking about if they lose this game. Dude, if Alabama doesn't win by like 30 against Louisiana Monroe, the hot seat talk's only going to grow. There are a lot of avenues for this game where Kalen DeBoer does not come out of it with any favorable opinions about him. And like that's a really tough spot to be in, especially with a program that is Alabama, where you know there's going to be hundreds of thousands of sets of eyes on you no matter what.
I don't know if they have a bye week 4, but like Wisconsin comes in week 3. Wisconsin's, Billy Edwards is hurt. He's not going to play this weekend versus Middle Tennessee. If Danny O'Neal comes in there and beats you, that's going to be brutal. And then if you have, I don't know, Georgia between the hedges, like that could be.
Yeah, it's not.
And again,
great. They get a bye, but they get a bye before Georgia, but still.
Yeah, Georgia will probably lose that game. I'm sure.
I mean, if things go poorly against Monroe and Wisconsin, I'm not even saying losses. If it just doesn't look good, like there's probably a good chance Georgia's not seeing Ty Simpson out there. I would say that.
No, you probably go with Keelan Russell just to save your job at that point. And,
yeah.
Georgia may have to do something to kind of contain Aguilar a little bit, but like they're going to be down McCoy and Gibson in the backfield, so maybe makes things easier for Gunnar Stockton and whatnot a couple weeks. But yeah, Kalen DeBoer, it's just not his day, not his week, not his month, not his year, maybe it's not his time, brother.
It might not be his job anymore. That's what we're getting at.
Nah. What Admiral Akbar would have said about him? He would have said, "It's a trap."
That's right. That's right.
Our favorite space squid, besides the guy that Adrian Veidt created at a lab.
That's right.
I wonder how he feels about watching it.
God only knows.
Doesn't probably know Earth exists either, but that's okay.
Who does really at this point?
We usually bring the Admiral Akbar. It's a trap game back, November and October, once we kind of have a little bit better feel here, but like a lot of interesting games here, and we got to start making some picks.
Yeah, and I mean, there's one, if I'm not mistaken, there's one ranked on ranked matchup this week, right?
Yeah, Michigan, Oklahoma, I believe.
Yeah, I know that one. I just was making sure there's not another one, but I'm pretty sure that's the only ranked on ranked matchup, and like that feels like it kind of qualifies as like a little bit of a trap week. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of ranked teams playing some good teams that could potentially clip them.
And like I said, you got teams like Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Wisconsin potentially looking ahead to like what comes down the pipeline in week 3. So we each picked 3 games that we think have upset potential, and we'll after we talk about it, we'll make a pick. First one I've got is Illinois giving 3.5 at Duke.
That's my first one as well. So yeah, we're on the same page.
That one is very interesting because like it's a little disrespectful to Duke. It's kind of like the game that my Falcons are playing versus the Buccaneers. It's like I can see why everybody would be picking the Illini and the Bucks to win that, but the Falcons and Blue Devils, they could certainly win. They've got
Yeah.
dynamic quarterbacks and everything like that. It could be a potential opportunity where like Illinois kind of sleepwalks in here. And again, this is a program that we've kind of crowned recently that hasn't quite fully put together, although they did beat the brakes off of South Carolina in that bowl game.
They did. They did do that. Yeah, I mean, I look at this game and like I was impressed with Duke last week, man. And like I was also impressed with Illinois, but like I think this is just two good teams. One of them happens to have a number beside their name. And like if you're Illinois, you like this obviously isn't going to hurt you in Big Ten play, but it does really hurt your college football playoff chances if you lose this game. Like this is a high pressure game, whether or not they realize it or not. And like having to go on the road, like that doesn't make it like Duke is not an otherworldly environment, to be very clear, but like you're still going to Durham, North Carolina, which is not particularly close to Champaign, Illinois. And so like that's a bit of travel you got there. Darian Mensah, frankly, might be one of the best quarterbacks you see all season. Like when you look at the landscape of the Big Ten right now, Darian Mensah is probably up there in the upper echelon of quarterbacks you're going to see this year. It's a tricky spot for Illinois, and it could be quite costly if you lose this one.
I'm still going to take Illinois to beat Duke, but I would not be surprised if there was an upset.
I'm also going to take Illinois. Like I see the vision if you're Duke, but I think Illinois just is a little bit better of a team. I will say the one thing that does give Duke another like potential advantage, Manny Diaz knows Burt pretty well.
Yeah.
And so like I don't think Duke's going to be surprised by anything that Illinois throws their way.
No, it'll be probably one of the better games of the weekend, in all honesty.
I would amend that statement to say I think it's probably going to be one of the closer games. It could be pretty ugly.
You know what? That's fair. And we got two teams that hate each other up next for mine. We got the border war with Kansas going to Mizzou. Mizzou is laying 6.5.
Okay.
I've really liked what I've been seeing out of Lance Leipold the last few games for the Jayhawks. I've not really liked it that much out of Mizzou, although Bo Pribio looks legit there for the Tigers. Again, this is one of those situations where I feel like the Kansas has being disrespected a little bit, and they're kind of playing with house money in the same sort of situation as Duke. And I'm actually taking KU to win this game.
Nice. So yeah, I'm also going to take KU in this one. I do not have it on here, but like I'm going to take KU in this one. I think the big thing is Jalen Daniels is healthy, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he might be 28 years old, but like the big problem is like even when he's played a lot, particularly last season, like he was still nursing the back injury. Like he was definitely playing, and like dude looks healthy. And when Jalen Daniels is healthy, this Kansas team is a different beast.
100%. So they should play this game annually. Just do it.
Oh, 100%. Give me this game annually. Absolutely.
Right.
My second one I have is Florida hosting South Florida. And
yeah,
I'm gonna be frank with you. I don't know what Florida is. Like they played Long Island in week one. I'm not gleaning anything from that. DJ Lagway also didn't play perfectly against Long Island. Like he looked like a guy who had missed a lot of the offseason program. You know who didn't look like that? Byron Brown.
Yeah.
And so like we've seen this Tennessee offense give Florida some trouble in the past. That's obviously what USF is running with Alex Galesh at the helm. But I think the big thing is this USF defense like looks much improved. Like I understand Florida is more talented than Boise State, but they rendered Boise State like useless, quite frankly, when they had the ball. And if DJ Lagway looks like he did against Long Island, that could absolutely happen again in this game. And I think South Florida is going to be able to score. I might regret this. I'm picking South Florida to pull it off, man. I think South Florida gets it done.
I didn't have this one included. I was very much on the fence with it, but like the more I've been thinking about it and writing about it, I'm like, this is in context of like Georgia, Tennessee being at 3:30 and LSU, Florida being at the primetime kick. And it's like, God, wouldn't it be hilarious if Florida like just lost it to South Florida?
Yeah.
It could happen. I'm going to take Florida here, but like it would not shock me because again, I had South Florida as my group of five representative to make the playoff in Monday's show.
Yeah, 100%.
In my last
This
one,
would be a hell of a boost for that. That's for sure.
100%, get another win over a ranked team.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
in the last one here, I've got Vanderbilt at Virginia Tech with the Hokies
Mm,
laying up 1.5 points.
hell yeah.
And we've talked about this before. Going with the live dog, brother.
Yeah.
Give me VU. I agree to that.
Vandy by
That's a
20. I don't even
yeah,
care. Like, I think I just like you look at you going back to your point about the tech coordinators and like the defense like really being up to snuff against South Carolina for most of that game. Like, let's be honest, Lenora Sellers played well, but like it wasn't consistent by any stretch of the imagination. And Virginia Tech was able to generate a lot of pressure. Vanderbilt is obviously not as talented as South Carolina, but they're also more difficult to game plan for. And it
right.
felt like a lot of game planning went into like rendering South Carolina's offense inconsistent. I think you're going to have a lot harder time doing that against Vanderbilt.
Yeah. So I'm taking Vanderbilt. You're taking Vanderbilt. What's your last one?
El Asco, baby. We've got, Iowa going to Ames to play Ohio or to play Iowa State, excuse me. Iowa State's a 3.5 point favorite. Man, look, this game's always dumb. Like it is the dumbest game on the entire planet. Like there's a reason it's called El Asco. It tends to be ugly. It tends to be just like incomprehensible to the human mind. Iowa State is rolling going into this game. Like you beat Kansas State in Dublin in a really like sloppy game, but a slop fest. You come out last week and like while Kansas State was nearly losing to North Dakota, you more than took care of South Dakota. Like you took care of business. You're looking good. Everything's going in Iowa State's way. You're up to top. You're up to 16th in the AP poll. You're being talked about as a potential favorite in the Big 12. Nothing would be more on brand to then go lose to Iowa in this game.
100%.
Like it is the most on brand thing for this entire rivalry. And especially because we talked about it briefly on Monday. Iowa did not look good. Iowa's offense was not fixed immediately. It was not great. Uh, Mark Gronowski, brother, I hope we got better things coming from you because that wasn't exactly what I was looking
No,
for when we're talking about Iowa's improvement. And that's why I'm picking Iowa in this game because it doesn't make any sense, and El Asco never makes sense.
that's true. I'm still going to take Iowa
Yeah,
State
they're the
because
better
like
team.
they're the better team. That's
I'm going the pure George Costanza route. If every instinct you have is wrong, then go against your instincts.
and
And that's what
your life will improve.
yeah, and like that's what the way I'm looking at this game. Like my instincts all tell me to take Iowa State because I think they're just a superior team. And that rarely matters in this rivalry.
No, it does not. But like every instinct tells me to not hang out with Antonio Banderas, but we keep on doing it.
Yeah, we
So the
do.
Antonio Banderas Bowl of the Week, we are going to be going to Dallas for Baylor at SMU. But before we get there, we got to recap some of the stuff we saw in Charlottesville for Coastal Carolina, Virginia. Pollo Verde was basically the only he said that in lieu of Bulldog, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Pollo Verde was all about it. He said that he wanted to try and piss Teal, and I said, I really don't know how you do that unless you're Grayson McCall. Don't really know. He tried, and I think that might have been what really hurt Coastal Carolina in this game because I'm not even sure Coastal Carolina showed up in Charlottesville, frankly.
No, they were in the river with Bono.
That's right. Bono's always watching over Antonio.
You got to tell me exactly like how Antonio handled the fact that Tony Elliott is not Tony Bennett, good or bad or ugly, but like we kind of played it off okay.
Yeah, well, so the first thing he said when we got in touch with Tony Elliott was he said he was ready to play some zone defense, and I was like, brother, this is not right. Like Antonio, this isn't the hardwood. This isn't Tony Bennett. Like I don't know what you're really looking for here. And Tony Elliott handled it like a pro. Like I think one thing you can never discredit Tony Elliott for is his professionalism, even in the face of Antonio. And Antonio was, when Antonio gets upset by things of this nature. Like he's a fickle beast, and that's when he decided to go streaking in the quad. And I tried to catch him. I had him by the thong there for a second, but it snapped out of my grasp, and he went rolling. And I don't think Charlottesville's seen anything like that since the last DMB show, quite frankly.
No, and I think really two things that were that really just kind of bothered me. He went to the lawn and he went to like one of those dorms that's like sacred.
Hmm.
Again, he's really into Edgar Allan Poe because he's an actor. And
Yeah,
Pollo Verde, I mean, Pollo Negra, that's Blackbird, that's Raven.
that's right. Nevermore.
So we ended up running into Chris Long, and we went to the apartment that he went to. We have some Pollo Verde and Water Boys, but the people in there were not happy to see him. So Antonio took one of the guys and went to one of those rooms on the lawn, Casco Amontillado. um, he may still be alive, but we gotta knock that thing down with a sledgehammer.
I mean, you could just listen for the telltale heart, you know. That's what I've always heard.
uh, nevermore, nevermore.
That's right.
And I don't think we'll be invited back to Charlottesville.
No, no, God, no. We're Antonio. You know, that was a one-off for him for sure.
But he checked the box, and that's really all you got to do in life. And we're going to his favorite place in the world, Dallas, Texas, to see Yeri Owens.
Yeah, I I might not. You might not want me there for those meetings.
No,
Quite honestly, I got some Jerry Jones feelings that I'm sorting through right now. And by that I mean not great. But I am encouraging Antonio to ask him about the Micah Parsons trade. Just see how it went down. See what he wants to tell Antonio about it.
well, we know he's going to disappear at some point for some Johnny Walker. And
Oh yeah.
the worst part ever though is Rhett Lashley. We told him like Antonio's coming, he's going to get my best shrimp cocktail out,
Oh
and
yeah.
I don't have it in my telltale heart to tell Rhett like Antonio's going to like cancel on dinner. He's going to stand you up to hang out with Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I mean this is a Jerry Jones trip. He's largely uninterested in Baylor or SMU, quite frankly. But I do think we need to get Dave Aranda and Antonio in a room together. Like Antonio's been a little more unhinged than normal to start this season, and I mean with the trip to Dublin, I think we both expected that to be the case. But we need some Zen master. Like I think we need to have a little like yoga class between Dave Aranda and Antonio.
You're reading my mind. I actually have got that scheduled,
Oh yeah, good.
8 a.m. And he's going to be sitting in there with Dave Randa, and they're going to be cranking some Black Sabbath just
Oh
to
yeah.
celebrate Ozzy and just find their equilibrium. Can you occupy my brain?
That's right. Yeah, a little metal yoga never hurt anybody. I think it's all good. Good for the soul,
No,
good for the spirit, good for the body.
it is. It really is. But I mean, he doesn't understand that like he's a little confused. He wants to go in the Brazos River. I'm like, that's not where it goes. I think it's the Trinity one, which is essentially like a the train, if you it kind of broke you. But he's gonna be swimming and stuff as well too. And also the Trans Am. He's trying to find a Trans Am.
Yeah, he is he's been asking a lot about Eric Dickerson, not so much about Craig James, which actually is surprising given Antonio's proclivities. Um, but yeah, he really wants to find the Trans Am, and I told him to ask Jerry Jones for it because Jerry Jones has $47 million free right now lying around. So, maybe he can hook it up.
And I think so too. I'm again really excited about this game, and I'm gonna take SMU.
I'm going to take Baylor in this one.
Okay, let's go.
I think that when you look at the way Baylor lost to Auburn last week, it was a lot of run game. And like I think David Aranda is, as a defensive minded head coach, is very well aware of that, and very well that Kevin Jennings and SMU's offense are probably going to present a lot of the same issues, particularly with the quarterback run game. So I think they're dialed in for that. And the SMU skill position players, like I don't think they're as dangerous as what Auburn has. So like I feel like that's a little bit less of a threat. And more importantly, I still have questions about this SMU defense. And Baylor's offense wasn't necessarily the problem. You put up 24 points against an Auburn defense that I think is pretty damn good. I think that they could probably outdo that. So I think Baylor gets it done here.
Either way, Antonio's gonna win, which means we lose.
That's right. Yeah, you never like after post victory for Antonio, it's all bets are off.
All bets are off, man. So it's time to pony up with some JLN with some bandit forces to
That's
finish the show.
right.
You gotta sweat this week through like Ben Breadwell, man. Sweatiest man alive.
That's right.
The problem is he weighs like 150. Like, I don't know why you're sweating this much, dude.
145 after the show, get that water weight out.
I was telling the Arizona State podcast one time I ran and I lost like 8 pounds.
Who among us hasn't been there?
I think Brian McCann one time says I lost 11 pounds catching a game for the Braves.
I mean, Atlanta will do it too, brother.
That's what'll happen with that. So let's move on with like no one's gonna love you. What game epitomizes that for you?
No one's gonna love you more than I do. That is Jeff Traylor and GJ Kinney, Texas State UTSA. I love both of these coaches so much. And it's a really good G5 matchup. I'm really excited for it. I'm going to take UTSA. I'm still high on the Roadrunners. I think they showed out pretty well, all things considered, against Texas A&M last week. But yeah, no one's going to love these two coaches more than I do.
I don't have that listed, but I will take UTSA as well.
Hell yeah.
For
You're
me,
probably going to have me covered on some of the bigger games of the week because I have none of them listed here.
that's totally fine. No one's gonna love you more than I do. That's Houston at Rice, because this game is the ever living ghost of what once was in the Southwest Conference.
Hell yeah, brother. And shouts to the familial ties. Scott Abel getting his first win at Rice last week. Love to see that.
Congratulations. And I'm going to be a dog sitting up Boo Bear, which is a Rice household.
Hell yeah. Go Owls.
But on that, I'm going to go with Cougars here.
I'm actually taking Rice.
Let's go.
I think this offense is actually like going to be very tricky for teams to deal with. And I think Houston's good and like very well could win this game, but I think that Rice definitely makes it more of a game than people are thinking. So I'm just gonna go with the Owls. Why not?
Why not? And let's celebrate a funeral with the funeral.
Yeah, Kent State, they ended a 21 game win or losing streak last week. About to start another one. Texas Tech, they're going to Texas Tech this week, and it's going to be a funeral for the Kent State Golden Flashes, brother. Don't really see this working out too well, and at every occasion, I'll be ready for the funeral at Kent State.
Absolutely. That win was a golden flash in the pan. Give me the tortillas at Texas Tech.
Yes, sir.
For this one, I've got Michigan at Oklahoma because at every occasion I'll be ready for the funeral for the losing head coach.
Yeah, 100%.
And on that note, I'm going to take Oklahoma and moneyline Mateer and what Sherrone Moore losing to his alma mater before he gets suspended for some burgers or whatever.
Yeah, the typical after the second week. I still don't understand the timing of it. It's so weird. I'm also taking Oklahoma in this game though. I think Oklahoma's just the better team, man. Like I think Michigan will get better as the year goes on, but I think they still have a lot to work through. And like, let's be clear, like Bryce Underwood in this type of matchup, the kid is 18 years old, man. Like I think we're going to see some growing pains.
He's 18 and he likes it. But eventually he's going to get older because of the slow, cruel hands of time. But yeah, for that.
That's El Assico. I've already talked about it, but we're going. It's Kurt Ferentz is dealing with the slow, cruel hands of time. That's for damn sure. Matt Campbell, I would say, needs to fight against that and take the USC job or any other job and get out of Iowa State eventually. But as I already said, I'm taking Iowa to win this game. It doesn't make any sense. The slow, cruel hands of time come for it though, and whatever result you expect in this game is the one that doesn't happen.
And I think that's fair, but I'm going to go with Iowa State because I want to see Matt Campbell just do amazing things this year.
I do too. It's not an anti-Iowa State take.
Yeah.
It's fully this game.
And this game for me, I've got ULM at Alabama.
Oh hell yeah!
The slow, cruel hands of time turn you into molten lava. Oh my. But on that note, like it's not going to be 2007 again. Alabama's going to get its first victory of the season. So congratulations there, Crimson Tide.
I'm also obviously going to take Alabama in this game, but my prediction, I don't think they cover 36.5.
I don't either.
Yeah, I think UL Monroe covers that. So there's that, feather in the cap.
And I wonder if we've got some overlap there for Is There a Ghost?
Oh, we definitely do. It's Austin Peay, Georgia, baby. And I think one of the things I was thinking, we know Kirby Smart's the ghost hunter. Like that's obviously what it is. However, one thing that I didn't even think about when we were like discussing this when we were talking about doing Band of Horses for this and picking the song for JLN, it's the Austin Peay Governors. And like that's just a great ghost like story. A governor ghost in the mansion in Athens. Like we love to see that. That's like exactly what we're looking for ghost hunting.
We do not have the same game, but
Oh.
I will obviously take Georgia to beat Austin Peay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God. Sorry. I didn't even remember to make a pick for this one. Yeah. Georgia's going to win by a lot.
Yeah. And Austin Peay is not bad. Like
no.
They beat Middle Tennessee. Bad.
Well, yeah. That's a Derek Mason problem.
And for me, Jim Calhoun and Jim Boeheim, eat your heart out. I've got UConn at Syracuse.
Oh yeah.
Ghosts. What else? I don't know if Jim Mora can still sleep because he lives in that haunted house. The song is essentially a haiku. I can sleep, but I live alone. Is there a ghost in my house? Give me Syracuse to get the first one of the season.
Yeah, I think Syracuse got this one in the bag. I'm not too worried about it. Even in the ghost house.
How about Dumpster World?
That's Kroger Field.
Yes.
Ole Miss, Kentucky for this one. Uh Man, I don't think people realize how close Kentucky was to losing to Toledo. Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
got the win 24-16, but man, Kentucky couldn't pull away from Toledo. That's not a good sign.
No.
And I think I'm baffled by the fact that Ole Miss is only favored by 9.5. That feels like reading into what happened last year. I think Ole Miss wins this game by like 20 to 30 points. Like, I think this one is, oh my God, how quickly can we get Mark Stoops out of here?
Yeah, Ole Miss needs to go out there and flex. I don't have this listed for my final two, but Ole Miss can't lose to Kentucky in back-to-back years.
No.
Kentucky, it was kind of more self-inflicted nonsense there for the
Mhm.
Rockets at Kroger Field. Yeah, Kentucky. Glenn Schumann, start looking for some houses there in Lexington, bud.
Have fun.
Have fun. For me, I've got a game that I've got a lot of attention on. I've got Middle Tennessee at Wisconsin
Oh, yes, sir.
because we are happy living in a dumpster world. Break out everybody in the jail. Let's get it on. That's Danny O'Neill with the
I was about to
comments.
say Danny O'Neill, baby.
And I've got Wisconsin winning pretty decidedly. They're gonna look pretty good.
Yeah, like we might still be a little down on Wisconsin, but not as down as we are on Middle Tennessee. That team is, ooh.
I want people at Murfreesboro to drink. Oh, you can. This is fast.
Yeah, 100%.
And the last one here, let's take our Indiana Pacers, Washington Huskies, German native, Seattle Supersonics guy, Parks and Rec star, Detlef Shrimp.
Parks and Rec star, yeah. Shouts Roy Hibbert, shouts Detlef Shrimp. We love to see it. Dude, Detlef Shrimp on Parks and Rec was actually like high key hilarious. Like I absolutely loved it.
Dude, he was as good as almost as good as John Cena and Ricky Snicki.
Dude, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I have the UCLA UNLV game for this one.
Let's go.
Because my eyes can't look at you any other way. I don't think I think Nico might just not be good.
No.
Like I think that might be where we're at with this. And I think UNLV wins this game, man. Like I know I've said it's a lot of pressure on Deshaun Foster, but I trust Dan Mullen in this spot a hell of a lot more than I do Deshaun Foster and Nico.
I'm in the content business. I'll take UNLV as well.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
be a lot of things right about Nico after the fact, that's for sure.
100%. In mine, the Aggies are going to win between Utah State and Texas A&M because the town is going to talk, but these people do not see things through to the very minimal. We're going to have Texas A&M fans doing cartwheels in the street because they're 2-0 because they beat the Utah State Aggies who are just mid right now.
Yeah. Like the mount again, I don't think I can reiterate this enough. Outside of UNLV and probably Boise State, I think Boise State probably figures it out. Mountain West kind of sucks. Like
Yeah.
they're not very good.
No, I feel like the American's going to get the Group 5 champion
Yeah, I feel very confident in that.
because you still got South Florida, you got Tulane, you got Navy, you got Memphis. You
Yeah,
don't have Army.
you got UTSA as well.
You
Like
got
I understand they
UTSA
have a
as well.
loss, but it was to Texas A&M. Like you're fine.
How good would East Carolina be in the Mountain West?
East Carolina's winning the league, brother. I think.
Yeah, like Harold for sure. Yeah, he's gonna be a champion there in Vegas. Yeah, so yeah, I've got Texas A&M winning that game.
I also have those Aggies winning this game.
My back hurts, and from carrying things in and out of a car that we had a flat tire that stunk. That was
My
not cool.
my back hurts for being 34, I think is really what it comes down to.
I turned 30. I turned 36 in a week.
It's tough, man.
But you know what? This was episode 206 of Fall Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter or the X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at TheSizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB Fall Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Hi, Jenny.
That's a
See you in the
5-star
cat.
review right there.
I know. She's a big time subscriber.
Oh
She
yeah.
just loves the content. I think the favorite part is just trying to follow Antonio bouncing along in the beginning.
Oh yeah. I watched a video the other day of This woman told her husband that she bought him a new TV that was touchscreen and like interactive, and she goes, "Yeah, you can play games on it." And then she turned on a cat game where like you follow the ball through like a maze or something like that. And he sat there and did it for like a minute and a half before he realized he was playing a cat game on the TV.
Dude, it's like you go on Facebook and it's like there's a clown staring at this photo, and it's you,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you feel so stupid. So I gotta go back to Ricky Stanikius. I gotta
Yeah,
get back.
please do, please do.
Just the whole part of it. He thinks he's gonna get messed up, but in reality, he's just getting a cease and desist order from Billy Idol's group.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, man? I think if we've learned anything, it's that Billy Idol is underrated comedy gold. Because Billy Idol and The Wedding Singer also absolutely slaps.
Yes,
Don't you talk to Billy Idol that
Idol that way.
way.
Also, like trying to get out of your wife's baby shower is really messed up.
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. The fellows in Ricky Sadicki might not be the best dudes in the world, quite frankly.
No, 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 not at all. But they did clean up the Narragansett Bay
That's
afterwards.
right. That's right. Good deeds and bad deeds don't always balance each other out, though. I still think you still going to be paying for missing the wife's baby shower.
100%. I just love that his ringtone is "Where Have All the Cowboys Gone" by Paula Cole.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know why like that was. It's like what's like the most hilarious song we could make be your ringtone?
Dude, sometimes those choices really are really what make a comedy. You know what I mean? Like it's those little things that like really get it done. Like going back to another Fairley brother. Fairley brothers are actually like really good at this. Like it's like the little details that absolutely kill you. Brett being Brett Favre, like that's obviously a big detail, but it's a big reveal, and like it's just a choice. Like it could have been any ex-boyfriend, but to make it Brett Favre makes it 1,000 times funnier. You go back to Dumb and Dumber, and I think to like one of the opening scenes with Jim Carrey when he goes to the store and he's like, "Harry, I've got it covered," and he comes back, he's got that big ass cowboy hat on, and then gets robbed by a little old lady. Like if he doesn't have the cowboy hat on, that scene's like maybe like 10% less funny.
100%. I remember reading somewhere that like what Brett Favre was a third choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the first choice was one of my all-time favorite players ever, Drew Bledsoe,
Oh,
because
that would have been
obviously,
incredible.
but I think there was like some sort of scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
And then they were initially going to go, for Mary Matthews with Steve Young. He's like, I can't be in this because I'm LDS, but this is absolutely hilarious.
I really wish I could, but I can't.
uh,
And it turns out that Brett Favre might not have been the right choice, but at the time it was a great choice.
if you would have gone like 90s quarterbacks, Troy Aikman's in there.
I mean, had they made the movie in like the mid 2000s, Tony Romo is the perfect choice for that.
Tony Romo. Oh, Michael, it's Mike Vick.
Oh my God.
Or it's Donovan. It's Donovan McNabb coming in there.
Yes.
McNair, Steve McNair.
Oh God, yes.
Uh, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over, but we got to finish this podcast because this is False Start.